He breathes into my ear. My gaze zeroes in on a pair of beautiful eyes. His lips travel from the crook of my neck to my shoulder as his body continues to torture me into sweet abandon. He's hit with a wave of pleasure, and all I can do is make a conscious effort to capture his beautiful expression in a part of my brain I can go back to from time to time. As he glides out of me and lies beside me, he looks at me honestly with a question he's not sure how he can ask. Did you come?
The Orgasm Gap. Hello, your people of the internet. My name is Jagero, and this is Dialogues with Jagero. I hope you've been enjoying these episodes. The series is called The Pleasure Principle with the beautiful Dawryn. Nyiramugisha. Oh, what a wonderful series it has been. Have you enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed it.
When you talk about orgasm, it's a difficult statement because man has been on the receiving end and as far as orgasm is concerned.
Yeah.
Because we feel like it is ours to do. We are the ones.
Yours to enjoy.
Yes, it is ours to enjoy. It is ours to make happen. You know? So sometimes there is a lot of pressure. Because when a woman doesn't come or, you know, experience orgasm, the question I think is always back to the man. How did you do it? Did you do enough?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And given that for us, we just want to go there and do our 2 minutes of hard work, hard labor, and get out, you know?
Yeah.
Because, so I think this is going to be very important for men, this series, you know? And the poem is amazing. You know?
The poem introduces us to the gap, that disparity in pleasure, the disparity in the frequency of orgasming, you know?
Yeah.
The many times that men orgasm between, as opposed or as compared to women. So that's disparity between men and women when it comes to receiving pleasure. It's called the pleasure gap or the orgasm gap. And it's been a constant for me of recent. The whole of last year, I had a series on the orgasm gap during the Design Desirability dinners. Just helping men and women understand it. Because it's not enough for women to understand that we have a disparity. Out of 100, you find 84% of women orgasm, especially when they're in a man to woman kind of like setup, right? You'll find that only 84%. What happens to the 24%? And even when they orgasm, many times it's not frequent. For a man, every time he desires sex, he will orgasm. It's not the same for women, right? And now we have seen that it also gets to affect men, and consequently they lose attraction from the fact that they're not feeling man enough. Like I always tell women, if it's not breaking you into threads, if it's not reducing you to pieces, he doesn't feel like a man.
If you're not melting like butter on a pan.
I know, he's not. He wants to see you melt. He wants to reduce it to threads. And that's what's going to make him feel good, in as much as he also gets energy from that, right? So if he doesn't get that, it gets to affect him. There's anger, there's a certain kind of anger. I always say that when women are angry, they have just angry vaginas. And then also there's something about when men are angry and then just quarreling and finding offense in everything, they're just not feeling man enough because they're not making somebody else happy, right? So it comes and rubs up on the men. But then the disparities in the misinformation, because you will ask me, so what causes this disparity? Is it biological? Is it culture? Is it cognitive? Is it something that we think about? Is it that we have a complex or superiority complex, that I'm a man, I ought to orgasm whenever I want to orgasm? Your orgasm will be decided by me, you know, something like that. I want to just point out a few reasons why we have this disparity, and it's huge. One, we still have culture issues. The culture issues we have is that we still look at sex with an end game to penetration. We still think sex is penetrative sex. We do not know that oral sex is also sex. We don't know that partnered masturbation is also sex. We don't know that toy sex is also sex, right? So we only think the others are all foreplay. And if in the mind I think that is just but part of foreplay, then I'm not accepting that I'm enjoying the sex, right? So we already have that challenge. Then the other challenge is so many couples I find still look at sex as tending towards procreation. Like we only make love to our babies. In most married couples rather, you find that they look at sex as its function is for procreation. It's leading me to this other bit. We don't have enough sex education, and especially we don't have pleasure education. We have not been socialized to see and appreciate pleasure. We have not been able to look at pleasure as part of a satisfying element. We only look at sex. So I find so many women, once they're done with children, they say, me, I just do for him. Unfortunately, I get that a lot.
Why I'm done with children? Oh, because it was procreational.
Exactly. You see, because it's an unconscious thing. It's a belief we have that you get married. Picture these very good Christian girls. And it's not like I'm attacking them. I'm just putting out a realistic element. She's been told you can have sex before marriage, right? And that's a good thing, right? So then they come into marriage and they don't want to focus on the erotica of sex because they're still confused between, should I enjoy it? Is it okay? Is my God looking at me? Is he going to say you're going into the wildish nature or something? The confusion, right? And then she prefers to focus on what is better. You know, you have sex, you have children. God said, go and multiply the earth. So she wants to find a very good reason why she should have sex. That's how I find their headspace. They are conflicted. Doreen, I'm a pleasurable being because I teach them about sensuality. When I'm talking to them and telling them, unleash, release yourself, surrender yourself to your sensuality. They say they still feel a cognitive block. Right? In a fear that they will tap into their wildish nature because they said, Dawryn, I have urges. I have urges. I fear if I release those urges, God will be looking at me, They say it's an unconscious thing. When you ask me to go and journal about my sex values, I still have the fear of how am I looking like to God? Right? So then that woman gets to prefer to look at the purpose of sex being that it's for procreation. Watoto akimaliza kuzaa watoto, that's it. Right? So then she starts withdrawing interest because children are done. So now when I get them and they have hormonal imbalances, or there's going to be divorce, or the husband is cheating, or now they're fighting too much, I ask her, how is your sex life? It's like, is it important? Why are we making this whole sex thing seem like, I'm like, but how is the sex like? It's not that important to me. Okay, how is it like for him? Well, he complains. He says, I am too tired too many times. He says, I'm with the children too many times, but I'm tired. The tired is cognitive. It's because she does not like what's going to happen at the end of the day. So she's distracting herself through tiredness. And I'll be honest with you, I've been there. We distract with the children when there's no desire. You hold on to that baby hoping that he does not touch you, and all that.
We sleep with the baby in the same bed.
We even put them in between and pray that they put their hands over us, and we pray he will fear that there's a baby's hand over you. But I'll be honest with you, I walked myself from that cognitive space where I was seeing it was actually affecting my libido because I was losing it slowly by slowly, and until I had to get back to my head and allow myself to to be pleasured, to be pleasurable, and and all that. So then now they lose out they don't want to be able to have sex. So there's that one of the challenges of why we have the orgasm gap is because there's been focus on sex's purpose, or rather being for procreation only, right? So then you start teaching them, when you have sex, your skin glows. Do you know when you have sex, your energy is nice? Do you know when you have when you start telling them or giving them the functions of the purpose of sex other than procreation? Do you know when you have sex, you're good people? You know, you're nice to be around. Your energy is nice. There's a way you talk to the nanny, like, you know, she's been part of the people that have made you happy. You actually are amiable. You go to work and you're a nice person. You walk in with ease, because sex releases tension, negative energy, all that tiredness. It just takes, and it's just a few minutes. You would need about 2 hours in the gym to get the effects of what good sexual activity will be able to give you, until you give them that. And you're like, so sex is not only for the man. You need it as well for your own functionality. You need it for your longevity. You need it for your glow, for your, you know, and that's when they start thinking, really? And I'm being honest with you, I still get that. Because we could be thinking this is a cake. No, we still have it. The other reason why we have this gap is, again, like I said, sex education does not concentrate on pleasure, but we don't have enough sexful communication. We don't have the proper communication around sex. We have seen differences where men, or whether even just the sex education, when we learn about the vagina, we're learning about the reproductive bits about the vagina. We're not taught about the clitoris. We're not taught about the different pleasure points around the clitoris. We are not taught about that. It's as if the clitoris is not part of the vagina. We will talk about that when we start talking about the sensual art of touch. But the biggest reason why women experience fewer orgasms is because men and women themselves don't understand the clitoris itself. They don't even understand the clitoris extends further deep into the vagina. They think it's just that top part, right? And therefore they do not know how to play with the clitoris. They do not know how to appreciate themselves from the clitoris. And therefore, when men are dealing with the clitoris, it's part of foreplay. It's not as a sexual experience itself. You know what I mean? Because a woman, you could actually help a woman orgasm from the clitoris, and that's enough. But if a man feels like it was but part of foreplay, then he's expecting to make her orgasm through penetration, right? And that's why he will ask, baby, did you finish? Because he's thinking she only finished from the inside.
Forgive my ignorance, but who is asking this question though?
The man.
The man?
Yeah.
Baby, did you finish? It's a question that I believe a lot of us are asking.
Yeah. Did you come?
Did you come?
Yeah. And he's only asking that when after he's glided out and is lying next to her. Remember I said he thrusts into me and then he's hit with a wave of sensation, meaning we have orgasm, right? Then as he glides out of me, he looks at me with a question he's not sure to put into words. Meaning, when he's come is when he's asking, did you finish? Because he's finished, right?
Yeah.
This woman finished many times. She finished, through the nipples. She finished through the clitoris. She finished when she was squatting. She finished when she felt so good when you gave her a massage. She finished. So pleasure is the focus on the feeling. We've not explored the whole feeling. We are not mindful enough to feel. We're not mindful enough to say, I feel so good when he cuddles me. I know so many women who will even they will tell you they feel so good through a cuddle, much better than they do feel with the penetration.
Is that so?
Yeah. And so when we focus on the feeling, we remove the pressure from the man to think that if he's not made her orgasm through penetration, then he's not man enough. Because he might be good at massaging. He might be good at giving her oral sex. He might be good at affirming her, talking to her, you know. He might be good at making love to her through her mind. He might be good at hugging her and cuddling her and soothing her. Those cannot be underestimated. They're not part of foreplay. But we have relegated them to the element of foreplay. So we don't give them enough time for them to be pleasurable enough.
So the oral sex is part of the play?
Oral sex is sex. It's not part of foreplay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Yeah. So those are some of the reasons. The fact that the vagina is not well taught in sex education. I meet women.
Sex education where?
When we are studying about, let me just look at what you study in school. When you're studying about the vagina, you're only studying about it in terms of reproduction, right? But when we are studying about this face, we study everything: the nose, the eyes, function, purpose. How do you feel when you have homa? How do you feel when something goes into your eye? There's a feeling attached. But then when we are learning about the vagina, even socially, one, you cannot look at your vagina. Who has ever taught the girl child the labia minora, the labia majora, the crurus, the different parts of the clitoris? Who has ever taught her about the urethra? Who has taught her what can come out of those parts? Who has ever taught about sensation? She had to figure that out herself, right? So when education carves out the clitoris, because we don't learn about it, we learn about the vagina. So you see, it's lacking. As
a matter of fact, some communities think it is useless.
Exactly.
And therefore cut it off.
Thank you. Okay.
I think sometimes it's very difficult to, in as far as education is concerned, it's a very touchy subject. There is a lot of shame around it.
That's true.
And just a lot of awkwardness. In your estimation, how do we start to learn about this? Even if you're not learning in school, what part of our lives do you think we should seriously start? For example, women, when do they start learning properly about their vagina?
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
Like, I remind you, when I turned 13 and I started my menses, I was given a mirror.
By who?
By my sister, my big sister, because my big sister is the one who taught me about my vagina, not my mother. Because I was supposed to be sent to my senga. She wasn't in the country. My sister was afraid, because when your period comes, you're sent somewhere. Mothers, what I learned is that also mothers are experiencing a change. When a girl goes into her menses, there's a feeling a mother gets like she's now away from me. So they may not be in a good place to give this education. Then also there's a way in which daughters view their mothers. They're not able to be vulnerable with them because they have a protection thing around their mothers. I don't want mommy to know I am bleeding because I don't want to hurt mommy. She probably feels like a bleed is a terrible thing. So daughters have something about protection that they may not be open with their mothers. So we are sent to our sengas. With so many other reasons why, right? Then my senga was not around. The senga is now your dad's sister. It's not from your mother's side, right? So I was sent to my big sister. And my big sister has been sent a letter. And she's been told what to do. But she had been taken through the process. So she gave me the mirror. I remember she had a nanny, and then the nanny had also just gone into her menses, and she was lucky. So she took both of us to the bathroom before she could take us to teach us about herbs. Because she taught us 3 herbs. 1, she told us you cannot get infections. 2, you need to be able to massage, which I later learned is now elongation, right? Certain parts of your vagina. But also what I liked is that now she put us into contact with one of our body parts which we had never touched. I don't remember ever touching that part, right? So I got into contact with that part and it became a part of me. As opposed to feeling like this, a part of me I cannot look at or touch, right? But she gave us a mirror and taught us the major parts. She taught us that's your part because you always dress it and it's private, it's not public. But now that's a part of your body and only you get to know it to this detail, right? And as young, she gave us only that information. She didn't say, up until which time. We didn't have those questions. So when will I let anybody else see it? So what about at school? I didn't have questions. I just did what she told us, right? And then she was the first one to carry out the elongation. She taught me and the nanny. We were able to carry on that.
Do you mind talking about this elongation thing?
No, I don't mind. We call it pulling.
Pulling?
The pulling of the labia minora. Elongating the labia minora. Elongating the labia minora for different purposes. At that time, she was telling us you need to know your body parts and now you need to learn how to massage this part. That's the information she gave. So we did what she said. She gave us how long we're supposed to ensure that it gets, we did what she said. Later, now when I go to high school, the first night of secondary school, that was the conversation. Did you pull? Like everyone is, and you're thinking, do you know, even teasing, I remember teasing us the S2, I think you guys call them grade 2, in 844. The S2 students took us to the bathroom and asked all of us to undress so they can see if all of us are proper women. It wasn't nice, but then that's how they were able to tell who got assisted and who didn't get assisted. Okay, now taking you back to, are you taught about your body parts, and when do we bring in the conversation? Because
let's stay at the elongation place. Because I am still floating. It's a very interesting piece of information that I think you know a lot about it, and you want to move too quickly
from it. Yeah.
But I'm not understanding it. Why do you pull it? Why do you elongate it?
So later, you see, this moment you're not told why.
Yes.
Later you find out it was for enhancing sexual pleasure.
Ah.
Yeah.
This is very Ugandan.
So in Uganda, we really treasure the squatting orgasm. The men must master it. The women must feed for it. The women must know about it. It is well trained. And so the purpose of the labia minora, the elongation of the labia minora, is to increase the pleasure and the sounds that are expressed during the stroking of the labia minora when a man is either using his tongue or using his fingers up.
This is serious.
One. Also, they hug the man, because when the woman is turned on, when she's engorged, when her vagina is engorged, there's more texture.
What do you mean when the vagina is engorged?
Because arousal, when there's enough arousal, there's blood flow to the vaginal lips. So
yes.
The vaginal lips swell.
The swelling.
Yes, the swelling of vaginal lips. So as they swell, that's engorgement. As they engorge, so the labia minora elongates beyond or outside the majora. The majora are the outer lips of the vagina, right? So the minora elongate out, and then when there's penetration, also they hug onto the dick, and then they're warm, so they feel like they're just caressing the dick as the man is caressing. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. But two, I find men love texture, right? So they have
roughness.
Not roughness, but they want to find things. Like when women give birth and then there's a bit of a tear, and then there's inflammation. That kind of inflammation is texture during sex. I keep telling women, they think it's an ugly thing, but actually it's texture. It enhances sexual pleasure if there was nothing that was done to it. I'm not saying that they should be able to have it if it has medical implications to their vagina, but if it's outward, because I find most of them now feel that their vagina is not beautiful anymore, and I tell them that's texture. Men just want something to touch, something to play with, right? So for us, it used to remind us also that you need to be able to have enough foreplay to ensure that you're engorged, because if the lips don't get engorged, then they look phasoed and they look bad. So it would be that it trains you to have sexual boundaries, that a man should not touch you unless you feel those lips are swollen between your legs. Like, you should not go down. So you should have foreplay, enough of it, where you're able to feel and sense that the lips are engorged.
You can feel it?
Of course. You can feel when your vagina is engorged. You don't have to touch, you can feel. You can't put your legs together.
You can't?
I wouldn't be able to cross my legs like this if I No, you cannot.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's the same as an erection for a man.
Yeah. But it's not the clitoris.
Because I also can't put my legs like that if I have a full erection.
Exactly. So it's not the clitoris, because most people confuse elongation to think it's the clitoris that is elongated. It's the thin lips below the clitoris that are elongated. So I find that they find pleasure in that because they enjoy the squatting orgasm. And then with the squatting, because you see, when you have the vagina and you have the clitoris here, the mistake most men used to make is that they come and start hitting at the clitoris way faster before it's ready for stimulation. Because if you hit the clitoris, is very sensitive. It needs proper arousal for you to have elongated or more pressure about it. So with the lips, they had something else to hit and play with that was created a bit of a teaser element towards the clitoris. You know what I mean? So he didn't have to go directly to the clitoris. He played with the labia minoras, and so that teasy kind of like aspect is what built more pleasure. You know, it cooked the water well enough for it to boil.
Now, I hope that you're enjoying this program. Over the last 15 years, I have been working online for clients in America, in Europe, and all over the world. And that is why it pains me a lot when I see a lot of African brothers and sisters saying that they do not have a job. Now, this is the problem. A lot of people are trying to look for a job in 2024 in their own town, in their own country, in their local area. Now, the truth is, there are no jobs in Africa, at least not so many jobs. The good news is that we have internet these days. We have a tablet, we have a computer, we have a phone, and that means that we can do a lot of jobs, and those jobs are online. That is why over the last 4 years I've been writing a book that is called Digital Goldmine. It is a book that explains to you how you can earn money online. The 18 hustles that I've chosen are basically for Africans. Okay, because what happens when you are doing online jobs is that payment is usually a problem. So these 18 side hustles that I have put together in this book, you can be paid very well and very conveniently. Okay, so the book is only 1,000 Kenya shillings. That is about $10. You can buy it in Kenya using paybill number. You can buy it online from anywhere in the world using a credit or a debit card. All the information about this book is in the description below. Just need to go to the description, click on the link, and you can buy this book. And if you have a brother, you have a wife, you have a husband, you have a friend who is sitting at home and watching Netflix, please do buy this book for them. If you are the one sitting at home and watching Netflix and have nothing to do, please buy this book, and your life is gonna change forever. Because I have been doing this online, and I've been traveling, and I've been enjoying myself and having a lot of fun. So thank you very much, and now back to programming.
Yeah. And gush outs.
The squatting.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can this thing be elongated when people are full adults?
Yes and no, because I've helped some get to, if that's what they want, elongate their lips when they're adults, and they don't get as long as they would if you were a teenager, but they still get long enough.
So there is a biology to squatting.
Yeah.
A lot of the times when we talk about Ugandan women squatting, there's a confusion because how is this just happening in Western? It's west of East Africa, you know, and the east of East Africa is west of East Africa, you know.
How is it happening in West Africa?
Uganda is to the west of East Africa.
Oh, okay.
Sindio?
From this side, yeah.
Yes, the east of East Africa, and the west of East Africa, and then the east of East Africa, Kenya, is languishing. In short.
So what's the question?
So the question I was no, I mean it's not a question, it's a comment, an opinion that there are some of the things that we are having in other parts of the countries that other countries or communities have figured out. So in some communities you'll find that squatting is very problematic, but then when somebody now talks to you and you give the idea of what was happening in your country, then people begin to understand that, oh, so perhaps squatting is a bit of an uphill task for me, because when I was a child or a teenager, something was not done, a teaching did not take place.
Well, there's no bad time for education and information if we give out this information, because we were talking about
But you see, they say strike the iron when it is hot.
I don't think so. We've learned.
So you can elongate it, in other words.
Yes, and plus you can learn squatting. So many women.
You can learn squatting.
Oh yes, both women and men. The women that I met when they were about 30.
What do you mean, women and men? It's only women that squat.
But you see, it's the men that men also enjoy the squatting. They enjoy the learning of how to make a woman squat.
Yes.
Yeah, so they also can learn what they need to learn.
What they need to do.
What they need to do, yeah, to to make a woman squirt. So I don't think there's an age limit. Even at 50, a man can learn. Even at 60, a man can learn, because you're having sex all the time. There's a lot we are always learning every other day. We are better for it now than we were when we were 20. We've gathered more information now than we did have when we were 20.
And we are freer, we are more independent.
Yeah, but still we are open to information, we are applying it, and it's working. Women in their 40s now are experiencing better pleasure than they did in their 20s, mostly not because of the biological timing, but also because of the information, their self-awareness that they've gathered. So I don't think it's ever wrong. What would be wrong is reception, is thinking I'm too old to start this stuff.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
I sat with a man on a podcast,
Yeah.
and he went really viral by what he said.
Okay.
He said that a woman in her 40s
Yeah.
has a warmer vagina.
Yeah.
You know, it matures with age.
Yeah.
And you just said something like that in a different, with different words.
But that's true. But what I also know is that energetically, a woman has about 4 archetypes in her. So she feels more energies within her at 40. So she brings out the enchantress, she brings out the queen in her, she brings out the healer, the nurturer, she brings out all those elements, and a man is able to experience, those from her. So a woman's sensuality in the 40s is more heightened. Her vagina in the 40s is more heightened again, because before estrogen goes down, it gives you the best of you. So the vagina engorges much better, she's warmer, but the capacity to be cognitively positive. The fact that now by 40 they have mastered their mind, it's not taking them captive as much as it used to before. The fact that they have reached a place where they can say, this beautiful is enough, this money I have is enough, these children are enough, this man I picked is enough. In the 20s, there's a lot to figure out. Will he take me to the promised land? With him shall I have the children I want? Will I have enough money? There's a lot to battle with in the early years, and that also gets to affect your vagina. It gets to affect your sensuality, it gets to affect your pleasure. Yeah.
There is a lot has been said about men going for younger girls.
Yeah.
Is it, after all, just misinformation on the side of men?
It's not. People will go for who they want, but I can see one of the reasons is because men want autonomy. They want somebody they will, especially such men, want women who will not question what they have to say. They want less words. They want less questioning. They want to feel superior. They want recognition. They want that girl he will do one small thing, because they breadcrumb such girls. He will do one small thing and she will sing his praises to the hills. And that's what he wants.
So, breadcrumb the girls.
Yeah,
what do you mean by that?
They give them less than they deserve, because they have not yet learned what they are worth. So they will take so little and call it so much.
Pocket money at the university.
Exactly. Give them 2,000 shillings. It probably will last them a whole week. But what will that do to me?
You're an expensive woman.
I'm not expensive, because I can make some of that money myself, but then I wouldn't be breadcrumbed.
I like the phraseology. Breadcrumbing people.
Yeah, giving them little attention in terms of emotional undernourishment. They go and tell them, I'm very busy, I'm going to travel all over the world, and then she's there stuck with 4 children, raising them, doing all the work by herself. She's not having any nourishment. Breadcrumbing is not only money provision, it's also emotional undernourishment, right? Emotional undernourishment.
Wow. Today we are having them words, man. Emotional undernourishment.
Yeah. When you're not able to meet my emotional needs, or you come one day and then you disappear 3 days. You talk to me in the morning and then you next talk to me on Friday. You talk to me on Monday, you next call me on Friday. You promise me, you tell me how you're going to be able to do this and this and this just in the moment. Breadcrumbing is giving people little attention and making them feel like you're going to give them enough, only to not give them that much. It's coming around and love. You've heard of love bombing. Like, I do so much for you in so short a time, make you feel so thrilled and make you feel like, and you live with this whole thing, oh my God, the way he made me feel that day, only for you not to hear from me for 5 days. Meaning it's not consistent nourishment. So it's breadcrumbing. You would rather call me once a day, but call me every day. Maybe that's my communication need. Or you would rather touch me and kiss me every morning than kiss me once a month or kiss me on Valentine's Day only.
By the way, happy Valentines.
Thank you.
It's coming tomorrow.
Yeah. Shoot the question.
Is a seductress a negative word?
Seductress?
Yeah.
You want to call me a seductress?
Don't go ahead of yourself, bro.
You want to be sure that you're safe.
Yeah.
You're preempting to be sure if I tell her this, is she going to take it in a positive way?
Yeah.
Am I a seductress?
Huh?
Am I a seductress?
You remind me of those two ladies that I see in British drama series.
Tell me about
They are. There's this other one that they were having the other day. What is it called? With a black African lady in it. It was called what? I
Bridgerton?
Bridgerton.
Mm-hmm.
Bridgerton 1 and Bridgerton 2.
Yeah, when you speak of Bridgerton, the only scene I remember is the one of blooming. She's in full bloom.
What is full bloom?
You will watch the series.
But they won't be saying the word.
They say it actually. There's a lady who was in full bloom.
What is it? What is a bloom? What is a full bloom? This cameraman, we know.
Okay, but I was reminding you of the ladies in Bridgerton. Go ahead.
Oh man, yes you do actually.
Yeah.
You come off as a very wow, which is very interesting and very very powerful at the same time.
Thank you.
There is only positivity to it.
Oh, thank you. I take it.
You're going to change many lives, you know that?
I will be very happy if I do that. It's my goal in life to change lives. Yeah. With anything I do say, the goal is to just change lives, to teach, to solve problems, to shed light on something.
Let's talk about one of your products. You have this one?
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wesley.
Yeah.
Is that what language is that?
It's English.
Well, forgive me, darling. I was brought up in the village.
And I love all your stories. All your village stories are beautiful. I was brought up in the village in Kisoro, in Lutundwe, in Kisoro.
Well, how is it like? Do you know Nyungwe Forest?
I've not been there, but yeah, I know.
But is it where you brought up? Is it? No. It's very foresty.
Yeah, it is. I come from the slopes of Mount Mufumbira.
So very fertile.
Very fertile, but with lots of volcanic stones. It's gotten more fertile lately, but the days when I was there, I was there for just 2 years. The days when I was
not even a village girl.
Well, 2 years in the village is good. I owe my identity to that place. I love that place. The days that I was there mean a lot to me.
I was there for more than 20 years.
I understand the experience is different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my goal is to help men and women improve their sexual health using food, naturally, using herbs, using teas, using food. Okay. So when we are looking at healing hormonal imbalances, I want to teach them, or I get to teach them, the foods they need to have in their breakfast that are so crucial for their hormonal health. Because I know breakfast is the most important meal. It's the one that I get to focus on most of the time. Okay. So this was something we call seed cycling. So seed cycling for women, I will talk to you about men. Seed cycling for women is a concept of using seeds eaten to balance a woman's hormonal needs at the different phases of her cycle to bring about a complete, beautiful, natural rhythm. There's so many foods one can eat. We get to look at the needs of a woman's cycle, the hormonal needs of a woman's cycle. But we look at the easiest foods within us, so around us, that we can use, as opposed to going to supplements. Before looking for the most expensive of these products out of the country, we look at what we have. And when we got to realize that seeds and nuts are powerful, they have lots of vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin B12, selenium. So we get those seeds, pair them, and teach women how to eat them along their cycle. So flax seeds and pumpkin seeds are paired together to support the first phase of woman's cycle, which we call the follicular phase. Then sunflower seeds and simsim seeds are paired together to support the luteal phase. That way she doesn't get to have libido issues. That way she has beautiful skin. She doesn't get to experience hormonal acne. That way she does not get to experience mood swings, PMDD. Now we have an occurrence of a worst case scenario of mood swings, which is PMDD. That way she doesn't get to have periods. I saw one of the viewers was saying, what do you do with a woman who is having her period for 10 days and even more and all that? We don't get to have period spotting or experiencing a period twice a cycle. That way she has a proper cycle that ranges between 26 days to 28 days, right? Or even 30 days. At least that's a bit healthy, but not beyond 30 days and not less than 24 days. So we balance the cycle using seed cycling. Okay, but just using those seeds, by just eating those seeds. So those seeds are milled into a powder. So these are the seeds. I indicate CD1 ovulation to CD28. So this is a pack for the luteal phase. Then this is a pack for the follicular phase. Now, this is muesli. When we use the milled seeds in smoothies, we can add them to porridge, brown porridge, right? And when you don't want to use them and you want to take yogurt, then you can sprinkle this on your yogurt and you have a different breakfast, okay? Now, this muesli has sunflower seeds for men. We need selenium for healthy testosterone levels. So men don't need to eat, njugus don't have as much. They instead need to eat Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts have the highest amount of selenium.
Brazil nuts?
Yeah, they're called Brazil nuts. You will find them in almost every supermarket.
They're written Brazil nuts?
Yes, Brazil nuts. They're large nuts.
Oh, the large ones?
They're really large and brown. So we have healthier nuts. We look for high amounts, as opposed to saying all nuts and seeds are healthy. We pick out the ones which have high amounts of what we need. So men need to look for Brazil nuts. They need to eat more pumpkin seeds. They need to eat more sunflower seeds. Okay, but also they need to balance the little estrogen which is in their bodies. That's why they take maca. That's why they eat flax seeds. Now men need healthy fats for that healthy thyroid and for their brain capacity to be good. Remember we said that one of the reasons why they have erectile dysfunction is because of the pituitary gland not releasing enough of that hormone needed. So when they eat flax seeds, when they eat chia seeds, when they eat walnuts, when they eat hemp seeds, especially, they are able to maintain proper health, brain health, thyroid health, and healthy testosterone levels. So I recommend men to also be fed or to indulge, to enjoy.
There's something tangy in this one.
So this one has gluten-free oats. I also teach women to go away from gluten because gluten is a hormone disruptor. It has gluten-free oats, it has almonds, it has raisins, it has simsim seeds, it has sunflower seeds, it has pumpkin seeds. Yeah. So what's tangy is cacao. I also put dark chocolate.
I see.
Yeah.
Amazing. That is a huge introduction to the orgasm gap.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I hope the audience loved it.
Yeah.
So in the next 2 episodes,
we'll talk about how to bridge the orgasm gap using the art of touch, using mindfulness. We will see the power of the breath in enhancing sexual pleasure. Okay? I will teach you a breath exercise that I'll stop there. So we'll use the power of the breath. We will talk about mindfulness. We will talk about sensuality, how to use sensuality to enhance pleasure. So we'll be looking at the concept of looking at pleasure as opposed to looking at how sex was taught to us, concentrating and putting our attention more on sexual, on penetrative sex. Yeah.
Awesome. So thank you very much.
Thank you,
It
sweet.
was lovely, very, very lovely. And we are coming to the end of, we are at the tail end of this series, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's
I
been
hope,
fun.
I hope the audience is going to love it. And they're also going to find time to talk to you one-on-one on WhatsApp, on Zoom, on, what's the other one for Microsoft? I've forgotten that one. You know, FaceTime. Do you have an iPhone?
No, I don't. I have an Android phone.
FaceTime.
Okay.
But,
Even Teams.
yes,
Yeah, there's so many ways of getting in touch.
yeah,
Yeah, they can check me out on Wellness Together.
yeah. And if they want to buy your products, it's on your website, which is in the description.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Everything is taken care of.
Thank
And
you.
we also have an event, March the 9th.
Yeah. Desire
At the
and
Radisson Blu.
desirability. Yeah.
Design,
Desire and
desirability.
Bridging the orgasm gap by focusing. We are going to we talk about dance, so we're going to focus on anxiously attached partners and avoidantly attached partners. I will talk to you about attachment styles, right? And how we build about a toxic trauma bond, and how our intention is to ensure we don't experience that, but we enjoy secure relationships or dance to secure relationships.
Please consider subscribing to the channel, leave a comment, and until another episode, bye for now.